Did you vote Trump?
I did.
Why so?
I voted because I was tired of the rhetoric, mostly on the left side. That combined with a number of things that I disagreed with. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of everything that Trump has said or done, but I mean, to be honest with you, I firmly believe that Trump does have good intentions where I didn't get that same vibe from Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. I just didn't believe in his ability to effectively do anything, to be honest.
Okay. What rhetoric
With Trump,
with Biden did you disagree with? With the Democrats, did you disagree with?
well, I mean, the fact that they've called him a fascist and a Nazi pretty much every chance they could leading up to the end.
Who
All
called
the
him a
racist.
Nazi?
Huh?
Who called him a Nazi?
I'm like pretty sure that Harris called him a Nazi, but I
Nope.
mean, you look
Harris
at
never called him a
social.
Nazi.
Okay,
One he
he
isn't.
called him a fascist.
One, he is a fascist. Two, he called Harris a Marxist and a socialist and a communist. And you know that Republicans, all that, like, there are lots of Republicans out there that have literally said that Kamala Harris is like working for demonic entities. Do they need to tone down that rhetoric?
Well, that's I mean that's conjecture. I don't know anything
Do
about
they need to
demonic.
tone down that rhetoric? Yes or no?
I would say yes, but on the flip side, I think you have to call a spade and call it both ways. Like, look at what Fetterman's done in some of his recent interviews. Like, you can acknowledge bad on both sides, and I don't think the left does that.
Okay. Do you think that Trump is anti-democratic?
To like the government, no.
No, he didn't try to undermine the last in the 2020 election by saying that the election
Uh,
was stolen with no
okay,
sufficient
but what
evidence to indicate that he won.
they didn't even. Well, here's the thing, though. Immediately, I think there's plenty of rationale to question if you think there's. And what the left should have done is they should have said, okay, let's look at it. But instead, I was going to say immediately after that, you have NBC, CNN, ABC saying conspiracy theory, all of this stuff, just making the rhetoric completely ridiculous. And on top of that, you had 2016, Hillary saying the same thing, Russiagate, Stacey Abrams. And so that's my point is like,
Hillary said
you
what?
have to
Sorry,
call it both ways. I was saying 2016, you had Hillary doing the same exact thing,
saying what?
Stacey Abrams denying the election results. And
No,
then
no,
you
no, no.
had,
Wait. So if you're referencing like her, she was only saying that she thinks that there should be a that there shouldn't be an electoral college. That's it.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, that's it. That she wasn't saying that we should have like overturned the election results. She didn't get tens of millions of people to believe that the election was stolen with no sufficient evidence. That's not what she did. She just
Okay,
disagrees with the electoral college, and she thinks because she got 3 million more votes, she should have won, which I agree with. She should have won. The electoral college shouldn't exist. I think it's bullshit.
and that's a fair point, I will say, but I don't want to go into that and go look into it because I disagree. I know that I've seen some things of stuff that she said that were pretty similar to things that Trump had said, but that it's a side point. It was 2016. One thing I will say about 2020, and we don't have to rehash this because I'm sure you disagree. If you go back and look at the election count, there was far more people that voted in 2020 than in the previous election. And then on top of that, voted Democrat in the following election. You had the absentee ballots. And I think there were some things that should have been looked at that weren't. And to me as an American, if our government was
What
objective, they would
What,
be
that's just
open
such
and
bullshit.
transparent.
Okay, you know
How is
this
that
is
bullshit?
bullshit. 60
No,
plus
it's
court
not.
listen, 60 plus courts indicated no sufficient evidence to overturn the election. There were MAGA judges that oversaw these cases, no sufficient evidence to overturn the election. There were audits in practically
That's
every
fine.
state
And
that
Biden became
indicated no
president.
sufficient evidence to overturn the election. You still
That's
believe
fine.
this years
I don't
after
believe it.
when there
I
was
don't believe
nothing.
it. I said there's an
No, what you
argument.
believe in particular is that you
Don't
believe
don't
that there are
assume my
things that they
beliefs.
should have looked at. When they looked at all of those things, they did audits, they did reports, they recounted, they did everything that the Republicans asked for, and you want to know what they found? Fucking nothing. So the fact that you were
They
still
didn't
sitting on
find
this live
nothing.
years later,
I'm not. I'm
be
just
quiet.
telling you what
Listen
the
to what I'm
argument.
saying. Listen to what
I'm
I'm
just
saying.
telling you what.
The fact that you were on my live stream years later, still saying that there are things that they should have looked at in that particular election, when there is literally nothing that they didn't look at in this particular election in 2020 that would have shown anything. Secondly, you want to understand, yes, there were different levels of votes. There were 75 million for Trump, 70 or 77 million for Trump, 75 million for Harris, and prior for Biden in 2020 there was 81 million. So yes, there was a drop in the amount of people that voted for Harris comparative to Biden. Now that's because people attributed inflation to the incumbent president just because it happened under the administration, which is not good reasoning to believe that it was caused by the president. That's horrible reasoning, but that's what people do whenever the economy is bad, right? And I think that's something that we need to work on amongst the American public is to get people to understand that just because it happens under the administration, it is not necessarily caused by that administration. Now you may go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
When you're talking, I'm not going to interrupt you. You don't need to mute me. So that everything, like that whole thing you just went down, I get the frustration from your side, and I never said don't assume what I believe because I was just laying out what people think because I think that's a fair thing to say. Clearly, because you had January 6th, you had all of this stuff that happened following that election, and you have to counter the argument. You can't just shut it down. And so that's my point is a lot of times on the left, instead of countering the argument, they immediately dismiss it and play this holier than thou type narrative. And it clearly does not work. Can you agree with
I
that?
argued against it. I explicitly argued against it.
You got very animated and angry about it.
Oh,
Like,
oh, I'm sorry because I had an
you were like
emotional.
yelling at me
Listen,
and you muted
I
me.
had an emotional human response to something that is actually insane. Are you saying
I
you
was
don't?
having a
If
conversation.
someone came on to a live in front of you and advocated for insane, morally abhorrent shit, you're saying you wouldn't have a human response?
I didn't advocate it. I was just laying out the argument.
You specifically said, right, that there were things that we did not look at in the election. What was there? What was there that we didn't look at?
What I said about the votes,
Yes.
and
What?
you countered that by saying, "Oh, the courts ruled it." All of these things, but at the beginning, I said immediately the media said it was conspiracy theory before all of that had happened.
What was there that we didn't look at?
Did you not hear what I just said?
Yes, I did hear what we just said. You said at this point, the point we are at right now, there are things that we still have not looked at. That's what you said. It's not
I
about
don't
what
know.
people
Did I
were
say
saying at
that?
that
Maybe I
time when they
misspoke.
didn't have enough evidence.
I don't remember saying that. Maybe I misspoke. Maybe I did. I didn't mean to say at this moment. I'm just saying
Okay.
there were situations like
Okay.
that.
Okay. So then ask you a question. Who won the 2024 election?
2024,
Yeah.
Trump, and I'd say Biden won 2020.
Okay. Okay. So can you tell me what do we know now that we didn't know in 2020 after the election? That means that they could have said it then. They couldn't have said it then, but they could say it now.
Well, I just told you. My view is Biden won 2020, Trump won 2024.
I
So I don't
understand.
know what you're
But
asking.
after the election, they had enough evidence, they had enough reasoning to say that Biden won the election, even without the audits yet. The same way that there weren't audits under this administration, or I mean this election, and yet you still believe the election results were valid.
Well, just because of the sheer number of votes.
What do you mean?
I mean, Trump won every single swing state.
Okay.
But I'm not saying there's a difference. I said Trump won 2020 Biden won 2020 and Trump won 2024.
Okay, I understand, but like you had enough reasoning after
I never
the
said I
election
did.
to say
I
that.
was just saying the argument of why people believe that, and that's what I'm trying to explain. Is that
Okay. But you
there?
okay, so but instead of acknowledging that what you said was crazy, right? You just immediately were like, "Oh my god, too emotional human."
No, you attacked me. You like verbally assaulted me on
I
that point,
verbally
and
assaulted
then
you, Jesus Christ,
okay,
dude.
not verbally assaulted me.
That is embarrassing.
Oh my, it's not
It
embarrassing.
is embarrassing for you to say that. It
Okay, but
totally
I thought
is.
you're the party of how people feel and how people perceive conversations being understanding, and then
I
you're the
am
one
I
that's
am being
attacking me. I'm not
understanding, but
being
that
rude
was
to you.
ridiculous. You said I
I'm not
verbally
being rude to
assaulted
you.
you
I'm
because
not.
I thought what you said was insane.
Well, I don't interrupt you and mute you. I think that's ridiculous. Like
This is my life. You can go
that's
on to someone
fine.
else's life if you'd like to,
And I'm
but
being
I'm going
respectful
to.
to
I
you,
am
and I'm
going. There
not.
are circumstances where I interrupt people and I mute them. That's just that's how reality works. If you ran your own live stream, you would realize there are circumstances where the same thing would be true for you.
But I
Okay,
wasn't interrupting you.
I don't
That's my
care.
point.
I don't care.
Okay, fair enough. Can we
And
talk
actually,
about
you were
third state?
interrupting me. I don't think that's true.
I don't think you can talk on interrupting people. If being honest here.
Oh well, you just said I wasn't. You weren't interrupting me, and now you're going back on that. Move the goalpost again, you fucking liar.
See what I mean?
You lied. You just
You make
lied.
ridiculous
You
statements.
just
No, I did
lied.
not.
You just lied.
No, I did not. I've been very respectful. You have
When
I
you
not?
gaslight and lied, that's not respectful.
Okay.
You just did. This was on recording. I just want to let you know.
Yeah, go back and watch it.
5,000 people just saw that.
Go back. Yeah, I'm sure because they agree with everything you said. Not for rationality, but because they're loyalists, and just like the people you hate on, like with Trump. And I totally disagree with that
Okay, well
mentality.
then you're a loyalist to Trump.
No, I'm not. See, you're
Wait,
saying
wait,
that
wait. So then why'd you say everyone in the chat's a loyalist to me?
and you just interrupt.